Hello viewers and welcome to another edition of Brave Namibia, where we celebrate both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. In our first clip today, Jamie Lee Ross catches up with a 19-year-old Precious Kanime, who is a second-year medical student at UNAM. At the same time, she's an extraordinary baker.
My name is Precious Kanime and I'm the owner of Baked by Precious, and I'm also a second year medical student at the University of Namibia. So I'm just here to tell you guys more about myself, what I get up to, more about my business and how I got into my business. So firstly, I'm going to tell you more about myself. So I'm 19 years old and I'm in my second year of medical school now, or I'm about to enter my second year of medical school. I'm matriculated from St. Paul's College, and some of my hobbies include reading, traveling, and obviously baking. And I used to do swimming, I used to do netball, I did tennis for a bit, I did debating. I was kind of an all-rounder. I love to do like a lot of different things, especially in high school. But now that I'm in medical school, I've kind of chilled a bit, and right now I'm just focusing on my business and medical school. So my love from baking started from a very young age. However, my mom is not really a baker, but I had an aunt who used to live in the UK when I was younger, but then she ended up coming back. So when she came back, I was maybe 7, 8, 9, somewhere there. And she used to bake a lot with me. So when she used to bake with me, I would love it. You know, she taught me the basics, you know, cookies, like a vanilla cake, chocolate cake, that type of stuff. And then I kind of just ended up doing it on my own whenever she wasn't there. So that's how I think I got into baking mostly. Also, you know, I would watch shows and I'd just be interested, you know, how did he make that? I used to watch Big Chef, Little Chef a lot as well, so I think that's where it also came from. So because my mom wasn't really much of a baker, she tried to help me engage in a lot of different activities. So I did go to a Bak Pro class once. So Bak Pro once had like this baking class, and I went there with my cousin, and I really enjoyed that. I learned how to make shortbread cookies. I think I learned how to make a pie that day, like a few different things. So she also encouraged me to continue baking. And then for the entrepreneurial side, also from a young age, I used to do this thing called BizKids. It was like a competition where you'd have to like propose a business idea with your partner or alone. But I had a partner. I used to go with my cousin Topewa. So you'd propose a business idea that you'd have at this BizKids function, and then if they liked your idea, you'd go through and only 10 candidates were picked like every year, and then you'd go sell your product or whatever. So me and my cousin went twice. The first time we had Image Village, which was like we were taking photos of people and then we print them out right there. And then the second one, I actually can't quite remember what we did, but I do remember that we came second place and third place in those 2 years. So I think that's where my entrepreneurial side came from. So like I said, I started baking because of my aunt, and I just never really stopped. So because I kind of had an entrepreneurial side, I had a baking side, I never really thought about selling my baked products until I used to bake a lot, especially in grade 12. Because grade 12 was super strenuous for me, you know. I did AS level and I had like all the sciences, and I had math and I had English. So I had 5 subjects on AS level, and it was very stressful. But at the end of the day, I found refuge in like baking. So I'd bake a lot and then I'd bring it to school, and my friends would always be like, oh Precious, like I would buy this from you, I would buy this from you. And specifically, they really liked my cinnamon rolls. So I thought, okay, why don't I just, you know, start selling cinnamon rolls specifically? So the reason why I chose specifically to sell cinnamon rolls was because I didn't want to overdo myself, because I knew that if I had like a lot of different products, you know, if I had the cupcakes, the brownies, cakes, and all of that, that would take up a lot more time than just having one specialty. So I chose what I think I do best, and I chose the cinnamon rolls, and then I started selling them. So I have very supportive friends, very supportive family. So they distributed my flyer out, and then that's basically how Baked by Precious started. Now that I've touched on my baking side, I'll now be talking more about, academic side, medical school, life before that in high school, how I got to medical school. So I think I should start at high school because, that happened before medical school. So in high school, okay, let me start with, I've always really liked school. I love school. I've been pretty good at it, and I try my best to work my hardest. So I knew when I entered high school already that I wanted to go to medical school, and medical school obviously requires very good grades. So grade 8, I had all the subjects. I think I had 9 subjects. I can't go through those. Grade 9, same. Grade 10. In grade 10, I had a few common subjects, and then when it came to grade 11, I only had 6 subjects, I believe. Yes, I had 6 subjects. So I had all of the sciences, biology, chemistry, and physics, and then I had math, English, and then I had German as a foreign language. So that's what I had in grade 11, and then I wrote my external exams, and by the grace of God, I came 3rd in the country that year for the NSCO exam papers. So I came 3rd in the country that year, and then of course I used those results to apply to medical school the following year, but I also used my grade 12 results. So I went to grade 12 with 5 subjects. I went with the 3 sciences, and then math and English, and I dropped German because I didn't need it for what I wanted to do. So in grade 12, I had those 5 subjects. AS was super challenging. We were the first year who ever had AS. So we were kind of, I want to say, the experimental group, but I had amazing teachers at St. Paul's, and I'm super grateful for them. And I managed to get into medical school with my results. I got all A's in those subjects. And I always loved school. So I was also valedictorian at St. Paul's in my grade 12 year, and I feel super lucky, super grateful, super blessed. So for anyone who's listening that wants to do medicine, I'm not saying that you have to get 5 A's and A's or anything like that, but just work your hardest and really tap into that hardworking side of you, especially for your AS level subjects. So why I wanted to do medicine, why I chose medicine, I wanted to do medicine since I was around, I want to say grade 5. Before grade 5, I wasn't, I was still a child, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was, architecture, engineering, all the things that you hear, you kind of just say, oh, that kind of sounds cool, let me do that. But then once I got to grade 5, we had more. It was life science, I believe. We had life science classes, and I was like, this is actually pretty cool. And I also knew for a fact that I didn't want to work a desk job. So I was like, I like biology, I don't want a desk job, I like helping people. It kind of just added up, and then from there, I've always been calling myself doctor. And then in grade 7, I read this beautiful article about Dr. Ndume. She's an ophthalmologist here in Namibia, and she has recovered the sight of thousands of Namibians for free, and that also really, really inspired me. So I remember when I went for my grade 8 interview at St. Paul's, I remember mentioning her and mentioning that that's why I wanted to become a doctor as well. So those are just some of the factors that make me want to be a doctor. Also, there's not a lot of specialists in Namibia. I don't think there's more than 5 neurosurgeons, for example, in Namibia, and I feel like there's just a really big need for more specialists. So I want to obviously help my community, I want to help Namibia, and that's also another reason why I decided to choose medicine. So my experience in med school thus far, I'm only 2nd year. I'm about to start school. I haven't started 2nd year yet, but I can tell you about my 1st year. 1st year was it was fun. I can say it was very fun. I made a lot of very good friends and very good connections, and it was also like a learning curve, a teaching curve. Like I was kind of used to, let me not say, I was a hardworking person always, but like being at medical school, you're surrounded, like everyone there is like top of their class, you know what I mean? So Everyone was always in their A game, and I just learned so much. And I think I found like a new way to study as well, because medical school is quite different from high school. There's a lot more content to cover. There's a lot more things that you need to learn. Sometimes in high school, for example, when I was doing physics, I would be learning to pass, because I knew that, okay, I'm going to do medicine. Physics is not really like the biggest part of that. But now when I'm in medical school, every single module that I have is actually useful to what I'm going to be doing at the end of the day. So you have to be very attentive in all of your classes. It's also very surreal for me, because I mean, being a doctor has always been one of my biggest dreams. And now that I'm here, and I'm buying, for example, a lab coat or stethoscope, I just feel so grateful. It's a crazy feeling. So now for my future plan, of course, I intend on finishing medical school. And then after that, pursuing my internship. Whilst doing that, of course, I want to continue with Bake by Precious. If I see that I do have the time and the capacity, I would love to expand, because Bake by Precious right now is solely cinnamon rolls. But I would like to expand, because a few of my friends have been asking, hey Precious, like, can you make me brownies? Can you make me this? So I want to look into expanding into doing more of that. Hopefully, God willingly, if I have the time, while I'm a doctor, I may or may not try and like open up a bakery. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, just something to kind of tap into that side of me. However, medicine is always going to be priority number one, but baking is definitely like one of my passions. So I would really love to have the best of both worlds in that regard. So I'm going to try my best to do that. So I've been asked to give some advice for the youth. So all I have to say is, okay, my favorite quote is, reach for the moon, and even if you fail, you'll land amongst the stars. So exactly that. So reach super high. For example, I always used to tell myself, if I aim for 100%, I'm going to study for 100%. If I end up in the 90s, that's still an incredibly amazing mark. So I just feel like you shouldn't limit yourself, and you should try your best in everything that you do. But also don't get too caught up in just studying and working, and remember to make time for yourself, have self-care, and just have fun, especially in your high school years and your first years of university, because after that, you're going to be part of the working force, and you're going to have a lot more responsibilities. So try and find that balance between your fun and also your work. So that's basically all I have for you guys today. I hope that you have learned something from this very long interview, and I'm wishing you all the best, whether you're in high school, primary school, university. I'm wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia, as we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and oneup2.com, as well as broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republicane, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
Newsprint Namibia is a web offset printing operation that specializes in the printing of newspapers and commercial inserts. We are the leaders in our industry, with the highest quality print work and the shortest turnaround time from computer to print and delivery anywhere in the country daily. Newsprint was established mainly as a newspaper print company, but had to diversify its business to do commercial printing as required in the market. We print commercial inserts previously printed in South Africa in the shortest possible time. We, as an organization, also started printing workbooks for our education system and will also print textbooks for the Namibian market. For more information, please contact print@newsprint.com.
Next, we head to Swakopmund, where Desiree Gassi spoke to Harry Renks, who shares his journey in the local roundtable branch.
Hi, my name is Harry Renks. I am the Public Relations Officer for Swakopmund, Roundtable Swakopmund 145. So basically what I want to talk about is where Roundtable started. The first club was started in Norwich, England in 1927 by a gentleman called Louis Marchesi. From then on, Roundtable just started going worldwide. So basically we have a club in each country in the world, almost all the countries in the world. So it's a worldwide organization. We have 5 clubs in Namibia. We have 3 clubs in Windhoek, and then we have 1 Walvis Bay and 1 in Swakopmund. So Roundtable Swakopmund has been started around about 55 years ago. So we have quite a lot of gentlemen that went through our clubhouse. What we are basically now doing is we started focusing on projects or people that we would like to assist, and then building on that continuously. So we now have 3 organizations or 3 projects that we were focusing on. We have a little boy called Palavello. He had a very tragic accident where some acid was thrown on him by a burglar that ran past their shack. So he has a very bad burns on his whole body and on his face. So we are basically now generating funds for him. So when he's ready and when he's old enough, we can then send him to Dr. van der Spey, who's also a doctor that will assist him with his numerous amounts of operations that he will have to go through. Then we have a 16-year-old girl called Vanessa. She has been a recipient of funds that we raised. She has also had bad burns on her hands, and we already put her through one of the operations that is necessary. I think she needs 4 or 5 more, so that is still ongoing. Then we have the Valvicha old age home that we're assisting, the phase 2 section. We have been donating food, blankets, and then recently we started the Wilson Project. So the Wilson Project basically is where we try and assist the elderly with getting their teeth up to standard again, because most of them, or almost all of them, do not have medical aid. So what we're now trying to do is raise funds for them so that we can send them to Dr. Stefan van der Merwe, who's also working with us in getting them a full set of teeth if possible, if the funds allow.
Tell me, how did you guys find out that the elderly didn't have teeth and that they didn't have medical aid as well?
Okay, so we have Valvicha Old Age Home, the phase 2 section. We have been working with them for quite some time, donating food parcels, because they live on government grants and we can't expect the government to give them everything. So we've been supporting them for some time, and we have quite a good relationship with the sort of superintendent there. And we basically asked him, is food and blankets, is it enough? Is there anything else we can do? So he basically mentioned that they do not have medical aid, and other ailments that they do have, but it's a bit broad. So we started focusing on maybe assisting them with their dental care, and that's how we. One of our members actually also knows Mr. Dr. Stefan van der Merwe, so we just thought it's a good match. And so now basically we are then starting to generate funds for this specific purpose. We have a few fundraisers running this year again. We have our mini golf day. We have the cans that we have at all retailers as well. We are brainstorming a few new ideas to generate funds for that specific project. But what's most important is that if we can get public assistance from organizations, from companies, please contact us. We will surely appreciate that, and obviously handle it in the manner that that specific organization needs it to be handled in. Yes.
Okay. What are the ways that you guys raised funds for the kids that you guys help, for example, Vanessa and the baby boy? How were you guys able to raise those funds?
Okay, so for Vanessa and Palo, we have a very lucrative project, if I can put it in that sense, which is the mini golf day. So we have organizations that basically take part in the mini golf day. They enter a team, and that team pays a certain amount to be part of that day, and they also can put branding up, and then in that sense also give them a bit of branding. They then pay, and this last year we had almost 18, 19 teams that took part, organizations from all over Swakopmund. So also like to thank those organizations for their support.
What would you say was one of the most challenging things that Roundtable experienced in your quest for raising funds for all these people that need it?
So I don't want to mention COVID, but yeah, during that time, organizations, public persons, even the man on the street, was not able to donate anything. So that was a tough time for us because we definitely want to assist others, but we can't do it. We are 6 members in Swakopmund, and it's just tough without the public's assistance. So that was one of our biggest challenges, but we managed to pull through, and thank you to those individuals that made that possible.
What would you say were one of the biggest achievements that you guys accomplished, especially throughout 2022?
The best thing is we started focusing on our community funds, just to start raising that. So if I can mention it, we had through our community funds in 2022, we had almost $350,000 that we were able to generate, and then also again pay that out or distribute it to the necessary people.
Okay, if there are people in the communities who would maybe like to receive help from you guys, or if there are people in the communities who would like to assist you guys in funding some of these projects, where can they reach you?
Okay, so it's very easy on our Facebook page, Roundtable Swakopmund 145. Send us an inbox. Our contact details are also on the Facebook page. So please feel free, if you can assist us with any of our projects, please feel free to contact us. We will really appreciate it.
Okay. And if there are young men out there who would be interested in joining your quest in uplifting the community, how are they able to join and be part of the roundtable?
Okay, so the joining process, we have a few steps involved. But if anyone is interested in joining us, I would definitely recommend Roundtable Swakopmund or Roundtable in general for all over the country. It definitely gives you a sense of achievement, and we're really passionate about what we do. So if you're a passionate guy that likes to network, that likes to give back, contact us on our Facebook page, on our Instagram. You will definitely not be sorry.
Okay, lastly, Harry, what made you join Roundtable, and when did you decide to join?
So I am one of those passionate guys that like to give back and like to network. And I am fortunate enough to be a legacy tabler. So what that is, my father was also in the Roundtable. So that made me want to join. And then I'm very grateful to the gentleman that I am in with the Swakopmund Roundtable. That just gives it another element.
take a load off and tune into another episode of Brave Namibia, when we take a look at both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians sharing their stories. Brave Namibia is broadcasted on NTV Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. and 1up2.com, and broadcasted on the following Facebook platforms on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Republican, Algemeine Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and all Namibia Media Holdings pages. For more information, contact the Brave team at brave@synergy.com.na. Brave Namibia, for the ordinary and extraordinary Namibians.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you know of someone you feel should feature on our show, please contact us at brave@synergy.com.na.